Insta360 recently released brand new action cameras, the Insta360 Ace and Ace Pro, and in many ways, they're not only matching up to GoPro and the DJI Osmo Action cameras, they're also surpassing them with features and accessories. And in price. The Ace Pro is $450 US, so $50 more expensive than its competitors. In this video, I'm going to give you 17 ways the Insta360 Ace Pro is unique from its competitors. These are features that you won't find on the GoPro Hero 12 or the DJI Osmo Action 4. Now this is not a thorough side-by-side comparison video. That video is coming later, so stay tuned for it. Now normally whenever I get a new camera, I try to film it exclusively with the camera outdoors, but it is winter in Seattle right now and the weather is not cooperating. So against my better judgment, I'm shooting outside right now. It is chilly. It's supposed to be a sunny day today, but joke's on me, I don't see the sun anywhere. But I will include a lot of sample footage so you can see exactly what the footage looks like straight out of the Ace Pro unedited. So before I talk about differences, let's go over 6 Ace Pro basics. The Ace Pro is a tough action camera. By itself, it is waterproof to 10 meters or 33 feet underwater, or down to 60 meters if you use the optional dive case. It has built-in image stabilization called flow state stabilization, and it also has 2 digital lenses and 4 FOV or field of view selections: Action, Ultra, De-Warp, and Horizon Lock. There's even 360-degree horizon lock available if you're shooting in free-frame video mode. You'll have to process that video in the Insta360 phone app or the Studio app to see the full effect. Now speaking of lenses, the Ace Pro does have a pre-installed lens guard that is tough and protective. However, it is not removable. So in consideration of that, Insta360 is providing free maintenance for any damaged Ace or Ace Pro lens guards within the first year of purchase, plus 20% off Insta360 Care and the extended warranty. So if the non-removable lens bothers you, then hopefully that eases some of your concerns. The Ace Pro also has a removable rechargeable battery that supports fast charging, and it lasts about 100 minutes. And finally, the Ace Pro has active HDR. This would be almost a unique feature as the DJI took HDR out of the Osmo Action 4, but GoPro added HDR to the Hero 12. When it's enabled, you'll see a lot more detail in your highlights and your shadows, and the footage overall is a lot more vibrant. There's also still stabilization, so it's really good to use in active or action scenarios. One thing to note is that active HDR is not a separate mode, and there's no way to really toggle it. It just automatically turns on whenever you're shooting video in 4K 30 frames per second or a lower resolution or frame rate. I do wish it was a toggle because you don't always want HDR on, in my opinion, especially if you're going to vlog with the camera, so hopefully that's something that Insta360 changes in the future. Alright, let's move on to the 17 unique features on the Insta360 Ace Pro. Little tip, number 15 is my favorite feature. So first of all, this camera can shoot in up to 8K 24 frames per second, or 4K 120 frames per second slow motion. This is easily the highest resolution of any action camera, beating out the GoPro, which can shoot in up to 5.3K, and the DJI Osmo Action 4, which caps out at 4K. Now with that said, the ability to shoot in 8K is kind of a bonus feature, and I wouldn't necessarily shoot in 8K all the time because it takes up a lot of storage space and it takes a longer time to edit. So in my opinion, the bigger benefit of being able to shoot in 8K means that I'll get better 4K image quality. And it also means that we now have access to unique feature number 2, which is clarity zoom. Now to clarity zoom, you want to double tap on the camera screen, and when you do that, it instantly zooms in 2 times. This is a unique feature on the Ace Pro because it has an 8K sensor, so you can zoom in up to 2 times without image quality loss. Meanwhile, the GoPro Hero 12 digital zoom is only 1.6 times, and the Osmo Action 4 is 2 times, and both cameras are zooming in from lower resolutions, so there is some image quality loss when you zoom. The next unique feature is 48 megapixel still photos. This again is the highest resolution photos because GoPro does 27 megapixels and DJI does 10 megapixels. Next, the Ace Pro has a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is bigger than the GoPro Hero 12 sensor, but actually the same size as the DJI Osmo Action 4. But the Ace Pro sensor also includes an AI chip, which specializes in AI denoising. When shooting in the pure video mode, low light shooting not only has enhanced brightness and dynamic range, but also noise reduction, which is extremely rare in action cameras. I feel like the low light shooting on the GoPro and the DJI not only suffers from brightness, but also from a lot of noise, which degrades the overall image quality. But I don't see that on the Insta360 Ace Pro, which again, for the size of this camera, is pretty crazy. Next up, the Ace Pro has a large 2.4-inch touchscreen display that also flips. The Ace Pro's display is larger than the GoPro's 2.27-inch display and the DJI Osmo Action 4's 2.25-inch display. Having the ability to flip the screen up is great for taking selfies and for vlogging, but also for low-angle shooting. Now, the GoPro does have an optional display mod, but it costs $99 extra, and it's not waterproof. This flip-up screen on the Ace Pro is waterproof. But there are a few precautions you might want to take if you do take this camera underwater, so be sure to read that fine print behind the camera. The next few unique features have to do with usability. So the first feature that I love on the Ace Pro is vibration. So whenever you want to start recording or stop recording, this camera gives you a little vibration. And I like it because it's really subtle as opposed to just having sounds or flashing LEDs to confirm that you are indeed recording. Speaking of LED lights, I have one little critique. So there's a front LED bar under the feature screen that tends to turn blue whenever you start recording, and I find that it's really bright and it's kind of hard to look at. So I'd prefer if it was much smaller and less bright. But the good news is that you can turn it off if you do find it distracting. The next unique feature that I love about the Ace Pro is the face priority metering for exposure. Other action cameras don't have this, and they tend to just expose for the whole scene, but on this camera you can choose between that mode or face priority metering. And I really like the face priority for vlogging in particular because then your lighting is a lot more balanced. And there's also a little metering box that goes around the face to confirm that it's working, and I find that it's really accurate so far. Next up, we have gesture control to control the camera. And so to enable it, you want to swipe down and tap on the gesture control icon. In video mode, you can hold up your palm to start and stop recording. Or in photo mode, you can use the peace sign to take a photo. I think gesture control is a really neat feature. I'd love to see it come to other action cameras. And it's really nice for taking selfies or filming yourself in a noisy environment, or if you don't want to attract a lot of attention using voice control. Speaking of voice control, this is not a unique feature, but the Ace Pro does have Voice Control 2.0, which you can enable by swiping down and tapping on the voice control icon. Take a photo. Start recording. Stop recording. Just note that right now you cannot use gesture control and voice control simultaneously. You have to choose one feature or the other. Next up, I'm going to go over some workflow features, and I, again, would love to see these features in particular come to the GoPro and the Osmo Action 4 because they're saving me so much time in post-production. The first feature is pause recording. So to do this, you want to tap on the red record button on the screen while you're recording. This way, you can pause and resume recording in the same file for one smooth clip. It helps keep all of your shots together and saves you a lot of time from having to search through several short clips. You can also go into the album of the camera and click on the red dot to begin a new recording that starts at the end of the current clip. This is super useful for editing and organizing your clips in post-production. The next unique feature on the Ace Pro is the ability to cancel a recording. So to do this, you just want to long press on the physical recording button while you're recording, and that instantly cancels and deletes the current recording. This might actually be my favorite feature on this camera because I can't tell you how many times I go through my footage on my GoPro and I see these little 5 or 10 second clips when I accidentally start recording something. The ability to cancel recording would eliminate a lot of this and make sure that I only have the best shots to go through. The next feature is AI Highlights Assistant. So if you want to enable this, swipe down and select on the AI Highlights Assistant icon. When it's enabled, it will find the best moments from a single video and show you the highlights to review in camera. You can decide what to keep and what to delete for convenient file management. And when you connect the Ace Pro to the Insta360 app, you'll automatically receive a ready-to-share video, edited by AI. Now, GoPro does have a similar highlights reel feature, but it's only available if you use the GoPro Quick app, and I feel like it's less streamlined than Insta360's version of it. The next unique feature is app background downloading. So you can download footage from the camera while the Insta360 app runs quietly in the background, so you can do other things on your phone. This is something that you can't do on the GoPro or the DJI. Each time you want to download footage from those apps, you have to stay within the app, otherwise it won't download. Next up is a stats dashboard integration for Garmin devices or Apple Watches. This is the first action camera to be able to do this, and when it's enabled, you can showcase GPS, speed, and other data on your video. So if GPS is really important to you, and you have a Garmin device or an Apple Watch, then you can get that GPS data to your footage with the Ace Pro, without having to use a dedicated Insta360 GPS device. Although one is available, and we'll talk about it later on in this video in the accessories section. The next feature is one that you may have seen already because it's one of the coolest visual effects that I've seen from the Ace Pro, but it's called AI Warp. And it's a new ShotLab template within the Insta360 phone app. And it adds like this dynamic twist to your video with all of these AI effects that can be applied to either the whole clip or specific parts. You can choose from presets or input your own AI prompt, and the results can be pretty crazy, but also pretty creative. Now let's move on to the accessories portion of this video. I'm not going to talk about all of the Ace Pro accessories. I will try to do that in a separate video, but there are 3 accessories in particular that I think are worth mentioning because they're really unique. The first is my absolute favorite feature about the Ace Pro, and that is a magnetic quick release. It is similar to the DJI magnetic mount, but not exactly the same, so you cannot use the 2 cameras interchangeably on those mounts. But in the standard package, the Ace Pro does come with a quick release standard mount with a non-foldable GoPro 2-prong mount. But the accessory that I really love here is the optional quick release mount for $39.99. It features both a 1/4-inch screw hole on the bottom, plus foldable GoPro fingers. And there's also a lock switch for extra security. You all know that I love magnetic quick releases, and I've been in love with DJIs in particular, but I think Insta360 actually one-ups them on this one, because it offers the 2 mounting options, which allows the camera to sit flat. At the moment, there are no official DJI magnetic quick release products like this. And GoPro still has not adopted a magnetic quick release, although you can get a third-party version of it. The next unique accessory for the Ace Pro is a GPS preview remote for $150. This is the only action camera remote that I've seen that comes with both a touchscreen and a preview screen, so you can actually see your footage as you're shooting it. Most other action camera remotes are only remotes, and the Insta360 has that plus the preview screen. This allows you to remotely adjust the shooting settings with the touchscreen and also preview your shots in real time. The remote control works up to 20 meters away, and the preview will work up to 8 meters away. And because this remote also has GPS, you can use it to add accurate dashboard data to your videos in the Insta360 app or the studio. The remote also comes with 2 adjustable straps to attach to your wrists. You can wear it like a watch, or attach the mount to an object such as bike handlebars. At the moment, this remote is only available with the Ace and the Ace Pro, but it might be compatible with other Insta360 cameras in the future. And the final unique feature of the Insta360 Ace Pro is actually an accessory, 2 of them truly, but they are optional low-profile microphone jack adapter and a cold shoe mount, each for $19.99. The mic adapter adds both a 3.5mm and a USB-C audio port to the side of the camera, and it lets you attach a microphone and or charge your camera via the USB-C port. The cold shoe mount has to be mounted within the quick release mount. It's super easy to add and remove, very low profile, and it lets you add accessories to the side without blocking the flip screen if it's in selfie mode. Both the mic adapter and the cold shoe are less of a hassle to use than the dated GoPro Media Mod, so I really like how modular both of these accessories are for the Ace Pro. So those were 17 unique features that you'll only find on the Insta360 Ace Pro. You won't find them on the GoPro or the DJI Osmo Action 4. And a lot of them are really cool features that I would love to see other action camera companies adopt in the future. So hooray for Insta for paving the way with some of those features and accessories. So this is my first video about the Ace Pro. I have more coming, including a more in-depth side-by-side comparison between the Ace Pro, the GoPro, and the DJI, so stay tuned for that video, as well as other tutorials. I'll also be doing a best settings guide and an accessories guide, so stay tuned for more Ace Pro content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.